So welcome back to the explanation of the two-factor theory and how to get out of the box, so to speak. So how to change this. And the piece to change it for you and for this rat, we'll take this rat and we'll apply it for you, is the general rule of thumb that I'm going to say, and I'll say this also in my clinic, is whatever it is, we want to go towards instead of away. And not only go towards, but go towards and stay with. And those 2 points are extremely important when it comes to something specifically with the behaviorist world, is go towards and stay with, or specifically expose yourself to the item with enough time. So now let's get to that and see what I'm talking about. So what we're trying to do in the behavioral world, specifically with the classical conditioning, is something called extinction. And extinction means that if you would ring the bell for the dog and the dog salivates, that's that, if you will, that pairing, that training, that classical conditioning. But if you just keep ringing the bell for the dog, eventually without that food, without that reinforcer, without that pairing, it goes through something called extinction, where the object returns back to its natural state for the animal or for the being, be it us. So when you ring a bell with a dog, the dog would just tilt its head. When you ring a bell for a dog that's conditioned, it will salivate. However, if you just keep ringing the bell, eventually it goes through that extinction and the bell returns to just being a bell for a dog. There is no salivation. So now let's figure out how we can get extinction for this rat and also for you. So with extinction, what they do with this rat is it will stay, this conditioning will keep alive because they're always getting away from that stimuli. So what they did with this rat was they put up a barrier. And this is cool, but it's quite effective and important for you all to understand what we're trying to do. The rat can't get out, and therefore it can't get that reinforcement of feeling better. It has to stay with that fight or flight response, that sympathetic nervous system response. So by staying there long enough, that sympathetic nervous system, or the fight or flight response, has to eventually give way to the medical conditioning known from the parasympathetic nervous system. So how do we get to the parasympathetic nervous system response, be it more chill, physiologically calmer, lower heart rate, lower blood pressure, that overall body fight or flight response? How do we get to that adrenaline dump? Like I said in the last video, 2 things. One is time, and the other one is exposure. So time has to be a certain amount to where the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, and exposure is staying with the object. So what we do with this rat was we force him into that situation where he can't escape, and then eventually the sympathetic system gives way to the parasympathetic nervous system. And then once that occurs, they take the rat out and they put it back, and the rat goes through the same fight or flight response, that uncomfortable, unpleasant, aversive sensation of the fight or flight response, but then eventually with time and exposure, it goes away. And like the dog and like this rat, eventually it reaches extinction and the object goes back to its natural state of being just an object. Now let's talk about what that object might be for you. That object might be rats, snakes, spiders. It might be driving. It might be a memory. It might be contamination or disgust, or some type of feeling. It might be infection. So what we try to do, and what I encourage you to do, is to go towards instead of away, and to stay with it for long enough to cause extinction and the sympathetic to give way to the parasympathetic nervous system. So a lot of jargon. The main point that I keep wanting to have you hold on to is go towards and stay with instead of go away. So time and exposure. So what they do here with the rat is time and exposure for the extinction to occur. Now, a very important piece is that you are not a rat. You have rights. You have the capability, the will, the consciousness to be able to go yes or no. Yes, in the sense that I want to stay in the box, or stay with the object, stay with the aversion, stay with the fight or flight response, or no, I want to stop this or get out of it. Now, the upside is that you have that power and you can end any of it. The downside is that, unlike the rat, you're not going to get extinction if you leave. So it has to take some bravery. And to let you know, this is one of the hardest, if not the hardest things to do, is to stay with that sensation. But if you stay with it long enough, you don't have to have the right mindset, you don't have to have some tricks. The main point is to stay present for a given amount of time so that your body will eventually kick in to parasympathetic nervous system, and that fight or flight response inside of you will subside. Now, I can tell you all this, and I can have you read books, and you can watch movies, and you can watch, videos. All this is useless to you. It only has a certain value for you to try, but you have to do it. You have to experience it. And people like me will be there to assist you in this, but you have to make that decision. And it's a very brave and hard decision to make. But if you can, I would be more than happy to assist you on this journey. So this is the second part of the explanation and how to, if you will, get out of the box and to be done and get on with your life of the getting past the aversion or the object that prevents you from living your fullest life. So thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them via down in the comment section, or actually maybe through the clinic itself. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.